What's going on, guys? This is Tristy here, and today I am bringing you week 2 of the PPL VGC Season 1. So we are facing Iron Boffin in this week. He's the one who beat us for the finals of PPL Season 3 or 4 or something like that, middle of last year, where he absolutely destroyed us with a double dance ride-on. So we're hoping not to repeat that one with his Rhyperia in the team matchup. But you can check out the links to him in the description. He's doing a lot of streaming at the moment around champions as well as other playthroughs and stuff, so make sure you go check him out. He does have a slightly more VGC experience than us. He's been playing it since before champions came out, which is more than I have. And so I'm a little bit worried about this matchup. He also has the two things that when I drafted my team I was the most concerned about, which is Weather Sweepers and Trick Room. Basically easy, quote-unquote easy forms of speed control against my team. Tailwind is harder for most people to set up, and I have my own Tailwind to match it, and my team is super fast, so most things, even with Tailwind, are struggling to outspeed, like Dragapult or Scarf Raichu, and I can like Electro Web, Thunder Wave, etc. and get control back in my favor with those guys. But the problem here is with Trick Room, I really struggle into Trick Room. Pretty much everything he has is slower than everything I have. So I've made a little transfer, so we dropped the Slurpuff and brought in Aurorus and Appleton. So they both help patch the Trick Room matchup a little bit just by being slow and forcing things to have to run negative speed natures against me, potentially outslowing some stuff as well. And Aurorus also with the Snow Warning can patch my weather matchup a little bit as well. So bringing those two in for the price of Slurpuff seemed reasonable, and that's basically all the changes that we're going to be able to make this season because it's such a short turnaround. So you can see the team matchup there below me. Very threatening Zardwire Venucore with the Scovillain as well to just do huge damage in the sun. And then redirection as well from that Scovillain plus Trick Room, like Hatterene and Aguru are both really threatening with Trick Room because you can't just slap Taunt on something because the Hatterene can ignore that, and you can't just slap Fake Out because Guru ignores that, so it's really hard to know which one he's going to bring, or potentially even both, with some pretty threatening Trick Room sweepers like the Rhyperia, the Crabominable, and the Torkoal. So we are going to lead in the first game with our Gallade here. Gallade Volcarona is going to be the lead in game 1. We'll see how that goes, and then potentially pivot into game 2. If I see no Venusaur, then I'm leaning a different lead, but we'll just see what shows up and kind of adapt from there. So the idea between the Gallade Volcarona lead is it basically OHKOs whatever form of speed control they decide to bring out. Noivern's a little bit more of a concern, but I don't think Tailwind is the best matchup into me because, like I said, I can match it with my own Tailwind. There's other forms of speed control I have, and his really threatening sweepers actually don't get enough from Tailwind to outspeed me. Like Mega Crabominable, even with Tailwind, isn't outspeeding much. So we have Sacred Sword, Shadow Claw, Rock Slide, and Trick Room. If it's like Venu, Zard lead, then we can click Rock Slide with this thing and Heat Wave Volcarona and hopefully get the double KO. Our bulk allows us to live a modest Zard Y Air Slash, or Weather Ball, whatever the strongest move wants to go for is, and KO back with Rock Slide, and we are running the Lumberry. So Lumberry on Gallade means that if we get burned from Heat Wave or something, we will heal up and then click Rock Slide and still OHKO the Charizard. And also means if we get Sleep Powdered with the Venusaur, we can still OHKO from there. This is less good into if they go Scovillain with Charizard, because Overheat plus Heat Wave will just KO one of our two leads, which is not ideal. Shadow Claw is there to catch the Hatterene, and if the Hatterene leads and we Shadow Claw plus Bug Buzz into it, that should KO barring a very defensive Citrus Berry set, and if it's Guru, then Sacred Sword plus Bug Buzz should KO even through Citrus Berry, no matter what investment is running. And then we do have Trick Room to potentially, if I'm calling them to Trick Room, I can Trick Room turn 1 to immediately reverse it, or if they do get it set up and I'm not particularly threatened, then I can reverse it there as well. And we do threaten the Wide Guard with Gallade, which can potentially stop Zard from going for Heat Waves, can stop Rock Slide spam, Eruption spam, just lots of spread moves. So we couldn't really fit Wide Guard on here, but just bringing it means they have to think about the Wide Guard. Like I said, the combo lead with this thing is the Volcarona. We're running enough speed to creep a modest Charizard Y plus a tiny little bit, so we know off the bat if it's running modest or timid, and if it is timid, we do live an air slash or weather ball from that thing as well, and we are Chestoberry on the Volcarona, so if they go with the sleep powder Volcarona Venusaur lead, then doesn't matter which slot they sleep powder, will recover from the status and can fire off the Heatwave Rock Slide combo and get an OHKO. We'll get a KO on hopefully both mons there. Then into the Trick Room mode, Bug Buzz should do a lot into the Guru. If it's any of the sweepers next to Guru Hatterene, we just focus down the Trick Room setter, and if it's both of them together, then we basically just click Heatwave for chip and probably Trick Room with Gallade to try and just get a little bit of damage to be able to OHKO them the following turn, go from there. We have Giga Drain to pressure the Rhyperior, so that if we reverse Trick Room, like say they go Trick Room Protect and we click Trick Room with Gallade and Heatwave, then the following turn we really pressure the Rhyperior slot with Giga Drain. Heatwave obviously does a ton into Grommel, it's basically our best damaging move into like Charizard and Torkoal as well, and annihilates Venusaur and Scovillain and Orthworm and a lot of other threats, so it's just good spread damage. And then we have Rage Powder to potentially enable the Gallade to get a Trick Room reversal if we need to, if it's say like Abominable plus, I don't know, Hatterene or Guru, we can just go Rage Powder and Trick Room and try and draw attention away from the Gallade so it can reverse Trick Room and then we can get something else in from the back. If I don't want to reverse Trick Room, I can actually bring in my Appleton, so we are debuting it. It's going to be called Komodo Dragon. If you haven't noticed, all of my nicknames are Invincible themed, so it's a really cool show, go watch it if you want to. We're running Apple Acid, Draco, Helping Hand, and Protect here. This spread allows us to take a Mega Horn from a Rhyperior. We're running Thick Fat with the Archie-Berry to be able to take an Ice Punch from the Crabominable as well, and with Thick Fat we actually take hits from the Torkoal relatively well, and we also live in Air Slash from Charizard, so some really interesting bulk spreads there. And then with Apple Acid and Draco Meteor, we actually Acid into Draco Meteor because it drops the Spadef by 1, is a KO on Crabominable, and we are slower than those two sweepers. We're obviously still outslowed in Trick Room by Hatterene and Torkoal, and they obviously put a lot of pressure on, but Apple Acid is just good to get things weakened. If it's like a setup Orthworm, for example, we can just spam Apple Acid into it. Even if it's setting up Iron Defenses, we'll be lowering its Spadef so low that everything else on my team should be able to handle it. And then Helping Hand, similarly, if I like drop that something Spadef by 1 and then click Helping Hand into some of our special attackers, like the Volcarona, for example, or something else coming up, then we can just do huge damage and take care of some threats that way. And Helping Hand is also good to combo with our physical attackers just in general. There's a few calcs that Helping Hand is really, really good into, so we've got it on a couple of mons this team. Including the Raichu. So running Electroweb, Fake Out, Helping Hand, and Rain Dance on the Raichu. I do have Lightning Rod. I'm not overly expecting him to run any electric coverage, but he could try to run like Thunder Punch on Crabominable to try and hit Gyarados if he wants, and so Lightning Rod is just going to be nice to redirect to that. Similarly, I'm expecting Solid Rock on the Rhyperior over Lightning Rod just because, you know, Lightning Rod is nice next to the Charizard, but if I just hit that thing with a grass move, or like there's too many things that hit it super effectively, and it really appreciates the extra bulk of Solid Rock. We also don't want Static to proc on things like the Crabominable, because then they will outslow our Appleton in Trick Room, and that's not necessarily ideal, whereas outside of Trick Room I have enough things that deal with it. So I decided to go with Lightning Rod here just in case, to not proc Paras and that kind of thing. Fake Out is just nice. If we see that it's Hatterene and not Oranguru, then we'll definitely be bringing Raichu in the back to try and fake out that thing. Electroweb gives me really good speed control. We're running enough speed to creep, I believe it's Zard, Y, or Noivern at -1 or something like that. Oh, it's Venu in Sun at -1. So if I get an Electroweb off and we survive, we are running the Focus Sash on this mon, so it should live anyone hit. It will live anyone hit. So if we force the Protect and then they go like Sludge Bomb or something with the Venusaur, or the Scovillain, for example, then we can get the Electroweb off, drop their speed down, and then we should outspeed the following turn. I think it's like only if it's Modest Venusaur, but it should be Modest Venusaur into my team, etc, etc. Basically, that was like there's a bit of a gamble here, but we're running enough speed to creep one of those things at -1. Electro Web is just reasonable damage into the Charizard, and okay damage in everything else, and then we've got Rain Dance to try and reverse the weather, and that allows a few things to hit a little bit harder. It really neuters the Torkoal or the Charizard as well. Helping Hand just to boost up some damage from things where we can. Because of the Sash, I didn't bother really investing in bulk. There really wasn't any calcs where I was going to live 2 of anything. His attackers are just too strong, so we're just running Hasty Nature, and so if we switch in on like an Air Slash, it won't do more. A little bit of attack so that Fake Out maybe does a tiny bit more, and then just special attack, because why not? This is basically a pure support mon. One of the mons it is supporting is the Gyarados, so Aquaros making his debut. We have Protect, Waterfall, Temper Flare, and Dragon Dance with the Intimidate, running enough speed that at +1 we will outspeed everything. So we creep the Noivern at +1, and then Waterfall and Temper Flare is pretty good into his team. Waterfall obviously does a lot into the likes of Torkoal and Rhyperior, and this is why Rain Dance is really nice on the Raichu. If we get Rain up, then like a Helping Hand boosted Waterfall just destroys everything basically. And then conversely, if we don't get Rain up, then Temper Flare is really good into the Crabominable, the Venusaur, it's the Orthworm, etc. And if they protect that slot, then it gets doubled in power and we kill it from there. So we've got enough attack investment to do guaranteed 50% minimum to max HP Crabominable with Temper Flare with any single booster. So that's either Sun, Helping Hand, or Dragon Dance up. We do guaranteed 50% with Temper Flare, which means if we go into a Protect, it'll OHKO the following turn. We're also running the Charty Berry. This is because we have the Lightning Rod Raichu paired next to it. Their best moves to hit us are going to be rock moves, so things like Rock Slide. I'm expecting a lot of Rock Slide from Rhyperior and Crabominable primarily. And so with the Charty Berry, particularly after an Intimidate, we should be able to tank those moves and get off some pretty big hits. And then Protect, because this thing is likely to draw some attention, I can Protect and pivot around and stall out Trick Room turns that way. Speaking of mons that are going to draw attention, we have the Mega Float. So running enough speed to creep, I believe again it's Noivern at -1 or something like that. So if we pair this thing next to Raichu, we get the Electro Web off and we just start nuking shit. I didn't really want to creep Zard because Modest is really nice here, and honestly, being modest and bulky is kind of good because the bulk allows us to live certain things in Trick Room as well. And if it is the Zard, it'll likely be coming with something like Venusaur or Scovillain, which we don't really want to see with this anyway, and we'd likely be supporting it with a Raichu, which can put that speed matchup back in our favor anyway. We're just running mono fairy attacks here. They have a lot of fairy resists, and it simply doesn't matter. The only other move I considered was Psychic, because Psychic's obviously good into Venusaur, but Light of Ruin does about as much, which is so stupid. And Helping Hand, Light of Ruin allows us to hit a lot of other things a lot harder. So this is another option. If I need to, I can just click Helping Hand, Light of Ruin. If something's getting out of control, like say a Coil Orthworm, which is something I kind of expect, Coil Iron Tail is pretty good into Float here. A Helping Hand boosted Light of Ruin is a chance to just OHKO that thing. It's a chance to OHKO every single thing on the team. This mon is utterly insane. And if not, we can just Helping Hand Dazzling Gleam, and we basically do half to pretty much everything. So we're just gonna yeah, their special defense stats aren't fantastic on the mons that do resist, so Zard is kind of the best one, and if we have this thing next to Raichu, then Zard is really pressured by Electro Web plus Dazzling Gleam, and their only wide guard mon is Mega Crabominable, and if I lead Crabominable plus Zard, that's an interesting combo, because they either don't Mega the Crab, or they put themselves in Sun, or they don't Mega Charizard and don't get any weather, and so I don't think that's going to be a likely combination. And then just Protect, because again, this thing is going to draw a lot of attention. If we can force attacks into this Protect and get off things like Rain Dance with the Raichu, then we're in a really good spot. So that's going to be the team, and I'll be jumping to the battle against Boff. Okay, here we are for the battle against Iron Boffin. Links to him will be in the description. Make sure you go check him out. Let's see what he decided to bring. Okay, there is the Noivern. So we do see the Guru Trick Room with Rhyperior. There's no Crab. Noivern's annoying. Zard Y. Venu. Noivern and Orthworm. Do I change up my leads at all? I'm not sure that I do. I think I lead you plus you. Floyd actually looks better than I expected, and I think I'm going to go Raichu plus Gyarados here. Gyarados gives me a good option into Trick Room in the back. Raichu gives me a good fake out. Don't necessarily want to bring you if Noivern's hanging around. And go with that to start. Let's see what Boff decides to do. If it's a Trick Room lead, we just double Guru every single time. All from unexpected, no crab, no hat is kind of nice. Alright, good luck, have fun to Boff. Let's see what it is in the leads. Cool. This is the Sun mode. We have the berries. We have the moves. We threaten the Wide Guard and the Rage Powder. I'm just going to click the buttons. As long as we hit and we don't get crit. So we should be able to tell from this if Zard is timid or not, because we shouldn't be speed tying. It's potentially going to come down to a lot of hacks, so we'll just see. If they double one of my mons with like Air Slash plus Sludge Bomb or something, that would be less than ideal, but let's just see what happens. Then I can always bring in Raichu. Threaten fake out. Yep, so they set up Sun, Sleep Powder. Go to sleep. Chesterberry procs. 16. It's gonna be the overheat. Do we live this? I don't think we do. Okay. So we were prepared for Weather Ball or... Okay, we do connect on both. Is it Sash on the Venu? It is Sash on the Venu. No burn. Okay, I think we go right into Raichu here. We threaten with Fake Out, so I'm actually going to click Rain Dance here. And I'll just... Let's see, if you don't protect, I'll just Bug Buzz into this slot. So Zardy's at -2, so it doesn't necessarily threaten us that much. It's going to be Rochester, that's going to be the Rhydon. Rhyperior, I should say. And he does protect the Venusaur. This is alright. So now, what I don't know is, does Electro Web both get pulled into Rhyperior? And I think it does. So what I kind of want to do is actually pivot out here. Because I think you switch into Zard and go for Sleep Powder, right? So actually I'm going to click... No, because then it'll outspeed. I'm going to click Rain Dance again. And I'm going to Giga Drain the Rhyperior slot. Only just got that in time. God, this... Yes, he's going to go into Zard. Sleep Powder misses. No idea who that was targeted to, but we get the Rain Dance up. get a tiny bit of chip on that. I am now just gonna Electro Web plus Heat Wave, I think. Do I have any reason not to hit the Zard slightly harder? What's the hardest move I can hit it with? Yeah, it'd be Bug Buzz. And that'll catch the Rhyperior on the switch in as well. Okay, it's going to switch out that slot. Is Lightning Rod. Okay, but it still hits the other slots, so that's good to know for future turns. Just a little bit of chip. We should take an Air Slash if that's what it goes for. Ancient Power, okay. We take that too. No boost, no boost, no boost. Okay, sick. Now I can just Electro Web and Giga Drain pretty safely. So let's see, if you are Ancient Power, that looks like a roll. Live with 8. So it did 164. Yeah, that's just a mid roll on max Timid. Or a... yeah, so it has to be Timid. I think we saw that though, right? I think it outsped Volcarona. We've kind of got him pinned here as long as we land our moves. So switch, sack the Venu, and protect that slot. This is still kind of fine. Because we outspeed the Zard Y in the back. Raichu actually gets that KO. Let's overheat Ancient Power, so none of the moves I expected. Bartok is this thing. Interesting. So you are going to Tailwind here for sure. How much is Rhyperior? How fast is Rhyperior in Tailwind? .202, so it will outspeed us in Tailwind. That's really annoying. But I think I have this with Gyarados in the back. Do I want to switch Gyarados in here is the question. Preserve Fake Out. I think I do. That was a misplay. Giga Drain. I don't think I got that through in time. Okay. It's just going to be the Draco. And high horsepower, cool. And we didn't see White Herb proc. So now I'm going to fake out the Noivern and Dragon Dance, I think, because then we guarantee outspeed the Zard in the back. So even if they get Sun Up, we can KO that, and then it means that a Helping Hand boosted. Let's see. +1 in the sun. Why is this taking so long to connect? Oh my god. Okay. So So it just double protects, but that's fine. We get the DD off for free here. Rain stops. So if you go for the sun here, you're at -1, you still have the Charty Berry intact. I'm not super threatened by this Rhyperior unless it crits me. Whereas Noivern, if it gets up a Tailwind, is a bad time. And even at +1, we're not doing a lot to it. But it's at -2. So I think I'm just going to waterfall this slot and click Electro Web. Because we'll catch Zard on the switch. Does just go for Tailwind. So we're still faster. +1 waterfall should just Oko. Perfect. So Rhyperior is slow. Even in Tailwind, it's not outspeeding anything. They did get Tailwind up for the Charizard. But I think we're okay, because Noivern would now be slower. And we should take an Ancient Power with Gyarados, right? It's really not that strong. Yeah, we chew an Ancient Power with the Berry. So I'm gonna Waterfall here and just keep clicking Electro Web. Yeah. Just gonna Heat Wave, this will bring us down to Sash. Doesn't even bring us down to Sash. No burn. Thank fuck. This is at -2. So even if you KO there, you're now at -4. Gyarados should have this. They got 2 turns of Tailwind. They are at -4. 2 turns of Tailwind, a lot of turns of Sun. I'm going to... Waterfall's not a 2-hit KO on a bulky one. I'm gonna Protect here. Just still out a turn. Let's minimize the chance of a crit causing us issues later. And then I'm going to just keep clicking Waterfall. So after the Tailwind expires, we should outspeed. That did 0, you're now at -6. It has to play for the crit here. Oh, that did nothing. Oh, I don't have Sun up on my calc. So Temper Flare is doing more. The Temper Flare should now be a 2-hit KO. So that's what I'm going to go for. Not quite, so you're very bulky. Probably max HP. Has to hope for the crit again. This is close. What does more? Temper Flare in Sun or Waterfall in Rain? Waterfall in Nothing does more, so I Protect here every time. Looks like it's still not a KO. Yeah, I calced that wrong and have potentially cost myself. Okay. Now we just waterfall. We've got a flinch chance. We've got a crit chance. We've got a they're not max HP chance. They are totally max HP though. We get the flinch. Okay. That probably just sped up what was going to be a very long end game. We're just going to waterfall and take game 1 1-0. So Gyarados got 3 there. Let's see, got Noivern, Rhyperior, Zard-Y. Raichu got 1. Everyone else is 0-1. And that's game 1 in a 1-0. Noivern got the Raichu. Zard-Y got the Gallade. Did Rhyperior KO anything? No, it did not. What got the Volcarona actually? Noivern. So Noivern got 2. Okay, let's see how we want to pivot this. I reckon there's a reasonable chance they go Trick Room lead here. Thing is, I don't exactly have a better option into Overheat. They didn't see the item on those two, so that's good. I think I want to do the same for Floette. I could just lead Raichu Floette, to be honest. That's really bad into Zard Venu though. I think it's the same too. The fact that Noivern was so hard to kill does make me want to bring Floette in the back, but I don't know who I'd drop. Maybe I'd drop Gallade. What did Gallade really do for me there? But it's so good into the Trick Room problem. I'm gonna go with the same again. I don't know if that's right, but we'll see if I need to adjust, because he can adjust by just not clicking Sleep Powder. Or going Sleep Powder into the other slot, right? Yeah, so he's going to lead the same, we're going to lead the same. I think I just play the same game here because it's laggy. My computer really struggles. I'm going to see the same turn 1 play out. I don't think I have a better lead into the Sun duo though. It's like Raichu, I have to threaten the fake out. Because these two both just take the sleep. Yeah, that's fun. So you should be overheating the Volcarona slot. So as long as we land Rock Slide, we're in a much better spot. There's going to be the overheat into Volcarona this time. And as long as we land on both, we break the sash. Gallade, you're a legend. And we KO Zard-Y. Okay. Then I think it's back into the Raichu. I'm gonna be Cray Cray, I think, and fake out Trick Room. Because we should leave anything... Yeah, we definitely leave a Draco. Chew a Draco. Not even close. Then I'm going to click Helping Hand Rock Slide here. If it is Rhyperior in the back again, it will be the slowest thing on the field. But I think I'm okay with that. I could have just... I guess I wasn't threatening a KO on either. We know you're not Sash on the Noivern. Yeah, he's going to switch out into the Rhyperior here. Klaus, that's going to be the... this thing. Okay, that's fine. We have Sacred Sword. And Temper Flare will do a lot. And we flinch. That does suck. How much do we need to KO the Orthworm is the question. It'll be slower than us. But I think we just KO with Sacred Sword. Yeah, I don't think we need anything. So I'm gonna Sacred Sword here. Switching Gyarados. We get the Intimidate. We preserve Sash and Fake Out for another day. Ironhead going for the flinch, it's not going to do enough. Get Sacred Sword off, and that just, Orthworm just goes down. Super Fang. That is A-okay. So I think with Trick Room up, do we even need to risk the Rock Slide miss? To like a really bulky Noivern? How many turns of Trick Room do we have left actually? 2. Yeah, so we should be fine here. Yeah, they're going to protect. But outside of a double protect into Tailwind, I think we're all okay. The sun fades, so we should still be slower than Venu, I think. Does a Temper Flare KO? Oh yeah, it will, because it just got doubled in power. Do I need to do that? Yeah, Temper Flare absolutely kills. I'm just gonna Shadow Claw here and Temper Flare here again. Gallade should be the slowest thing on the field. They get the double. I really thought about going for DD, but this should kill, right? Come on, be faster. Yes, okay. Now it's Noivern against the world. And -2 Noivern. Twisted Dimensions return to normal. I'm gonna do this. I don't know my optimal play is, but I feel like if you crit the Gallade and kill it, getting a DD up is my win con here. Because I don't think I KO. You don't even crit Gallade. And then Shadow Claw should just KO this. And if it doesn't, then we outspeed the next turn. Yeah. So Gallade claims 3 and 0, and that's going to be a 2-0 win. Man, that team of 4 was pretty solid. I knew I needed the Appleton in case of, like, it helped my Trick Room matchup, but given he didn't seem to want to lead it and he was going more of a Tailwind, I decided to drop it, and then Floette was kind of there for the threat of being able to just OHKO anything off rip, and I think that's what forced him to go Venu Zard off rip. So yeah, that's going to be a 1-0 and a 3-0. Yeah, good game to Boffin. Make sure you go check him out in the description. Actually, I haven't looked at who we're playing next week, so that's going to be as much of a surprise for me as it is for both of you. But I will see you guys next Saturday for the next one.